they have e-readers now. They're going to have e-books available. And so that people can borrow them and not have to buy them. The Kindle does not work with that program, and that's probably the most popular. I mean, I'm sure it's the most popular e-reader, and it's so people are hoping maybe Amazon will come around at some point and support libraries in that way. I think libraries go to online video streaming, and that is available already in quite a few libraries, like BPL has. I think libraries would try to adapt to the changing technology, and
I was trying to understand
people.
the impact. I mean, I think you probably read in the news. Is it Border Books that is
They close.
going bankrupt, and they're
Yeah.
closing a number of bookstores? It sort of suggests that people purchasing books have gone down. Now, that maybe because of e-readers.
Right.
So I start to think about, well, is it just e-readers, or is there something else going on that has an impact on libraries?
I don't know. I mean, people still seem to flock to the libraries. Whether it's also a community. It's a human place where people interact.
It's a gathering place, and
A gathering place.
There have been many. I don't know what they call them at this point, but little stores that open up. Well, that allow you to get online in their store, and of course they want you to eat their food and so on. But libraries offer something I think is very unique. If you look at the population number, at 39,000, that's almost 3 times the population of our town. Okay, so that means people are constantly using it. It's a location where people can get online, because we can do that at the library now, right?
Oh, absolutely. You can bring your laptop.
Using those means, so the library probably should be perceived as an opportunity for people within the community and outside the community, a central location to get some information, even though they can do it at home. After a while, you can only stay home so much and do it. So there's a social process there. So I think the numbers show us that libraries are actually somehow fitting into to what's going on versus the initial fear of it being knocked out of the mainstream of our society. So it's the most focal point that I've seen in any community where people constantly go to all the time.
Mike?
Actually, I have 3 questions. First one's going to be your revenues. I didn't see any insert for revenue. Did I miss that?
I would think the only revenue they collect are fees, and the rental of the facility downstairs goes to
It's a revolving fund.
the
It's a
Friends,
revolving
right?
fund, right.
Revolving fund.
We have a policy in place to charge any group any for-profit group, occasionally a financial advisor or someone like that will seek to use the activity room, and if it's something that's aimed at marketing or for profit, they're charged a fee. That's few and far between. Mostly the room is used by community groups, scouting, soccer board, other community groups, and there's no fee for that.
Okay, so you don't have a lot of revenue.
We don't have a lot. We get some from the DVD, late DVDs.
Minimal amount
Late
now.
fees,
Minimal,
it's gotta be
minimal.
small.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you mind going back to that Mar chart with the little bars or the lines, the line graph?
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to ask a question, the fear of being disrespectful. I apologize in advance. But it just doesn't seem to me that the Mar, these people, whoever they are, get it, that we're in a recession. Do they think the libraries are recession-proof? And it may be a naive comment of me, but that line does not seem realistic with the state of the economy in the situation we're all in.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why there are waivers. I mean, that would probably,
So you're in support of doing the waiver
well,
based on that?
no,
Yes, but
I would, no.
Michael, I think though, the curve that she's representing here with respect to the waiver is what she's saying is if you do a waiver, right, they still consider that curve.
Gotta be a catch.
as
You have to
where
make
you
up
are
that
at
gap
some
Right.
point.
I
So
know
the
that.
gap,
Yeah.
What do we do to help them, get them, the Mar to wake up that this
Well,
is,
but what do you need to do?
I don't know.
If I can, Ms. Prisco, MAR is in place, so libraries can be an easy place to cut, where you say, let's just cut half the library budget because, some might consider it not a vital service. The MAR represents, the average of the past 3 years of spending plus 2.5%. That's what the MAR is, the requirement. You can get a waiver if the library is not cut disproportionately from other departments. What this says is if you seek a waiver, they have a separate column that still calculates what the MAR would have been had you met it. And when you seek to get certified again, or you can't, if you lose your certification, you have to make that up. You don't get to say, well, I didn't increase my percentage. And part of the reason for that is also in other communities. If we keep our MAR and Andover or Reading disregard the MAR and say we're not going to meet it, then everybody flocks to North Reading to get the new bestseller. It keeps all communities honest.
No, and I understand that piece. What I don't understand is that it doesn't seem to have any fluctuation based on the current financial situations facing all these towns that you even mentioned.
It's just based on Prop
Proposition
2.5.
Yeah. I mean,
It's based on Proposition 2.5, no more, no less.
Now, if we
How's that
could
one
run
working out for
If
us?
we could run all our budgets on Prop
Right.
2.5, we'd be all set.
hasn't worked out for us.
Well, but if you could run
Because our
everybody
fixed
on
costs are.
2.5.
Right, I know,
Going up
and
the leaps and
that's
bounds.
the point. So it just seems to me, and I apologize for holding this up, but when I saw that, I just don't think they get it. And so the answer is, we have to submit a waiver for them to get it, and then we're kind of at their whim, whether we get it or not, and then if we do get it, we're still held liable for that big
I
increase.
don't know if it's a whim.
It's only a big
It's-
increase though, because that's going out 8 years. So what's that saying? It's about, a little less, it's going from $445,000 to $495,000.
2.5%.
So that's a 10%,
accrued.
increase total over 8 years.
Right.
Over 8
Okay.
years. So that, you're not needing to meet that
But we-
today. It goes up a little. it's
But we
not-
ask every
But you still
department,
have to-
we do ask the departments to stay level, right? They're flatlined,
Mhm.
and I know everybody can't be the same, but
And if every
that's fine.
department is
We can,
flatlined,
yeah.
and
Right.
the library is flatlined, we will get a waiver.
Do you want to show them the last slide?
Now, can you take your trust fund money, and would the trust fund money be considered part of that budget?
No, it's got to be the appropriation.
It's gotta be appropriated.
No.
Could be part of the reasons for the MAR, though, is that you're filling in appropriation money with trust fund money. Some communities have done that,
And they've been, yeah, successful.
and they've been successful in getting.
What is our trust funds for the library? You have them, Andy?
Do I
There,
have?
there's several different ones, and one was used a couple of years ago to paint the outside of the library building. They tend to be earmarked for very specific things, and they're not to be for operating, very specific.
Use of the trust funds.
Oh, so did we use it, like, so when we got the copiers, it's like the copy you got?
They were used
No.
recently
No,
It was
as
for
part of the
painting, I
Oh,
think
the
about
outside.
20,000 or 25, it's quite a bit of, it was good.
Yep.
And then once that gets spent down, you kind of have to wait till it goes up. We used it for some furnishings too. But this is we've compared some of our neighboring per capita in North Reading and some neighboring towns. It's kind of they were taken from the books published in 2004 and 2010, a couple of these. But you can see that how little the North Reading per capita has gone up for the library spending.
Is that apples to apples, though, or in other words, facilities maintenance and upkeep included in the Andover budget as opposed to the
I
North
don't-
Reading budget?
I don't know so much if you can compare North Reading to Andover or Reading, but if you compare Andover to Andover, Middleton to, if you compare each town with itself, you can see that
The increase.
the North Reading is just hardly budged.
She's got the,
No, other than,
the low
again,
end on
if
the right.
the,
Yeah.
if the facilities upkeep and maintenance are included in the budgets over there, and in North Reading it's not, because it's over in the
No.
DPW, then obviously the cost of maintaining the facilities has increased substantially over the years. But
That's
Interesting.
it's very possible, but,
And Helena, we're talking about, what, a $6,000 increase? Is that what I'm seeing here?
yes,
Between the two
Yep.
would be about $6,200.
yeah. On the line.
What would be the impact,
Well,
besides maybe needing to request a waiver, but internally within the department?
I might need to rearrange these figures a little bit because something that's happened in recent weeks is one of our long-term staff people is going to retire in June.
Put up the other side?
Yes,
Is this one?
yeah. She's going to retire in June. She's a technician one. She's worked here almost 23 years. And I know the print is tiny on that, I apologize, but we thought by filling her position at a lower salary, maybe not at the very beginning, but we would save $5,800 and then make up the rest from postage and programming line items. So we'd have to move some of the money. So we would, just as a coincidence, at this moment, that we would be able to make
So
up
if
the
I
cut.
understand it right, basically, because of the change in personnel, you can maintain the same level of services for less money, but it doesn't solve the problem with the MAR.
That's correct. With the
That's
slight
right.
difference. And that's why we have that last line there, that we can return the funds. It doesn't solve the problem with the MAR, that's exactly right.
But
we
you could return the funds at the end of the year.
We could, the option, if we were level services, we could fund it completely at the 24 hours for a week and then return the money to the town at the end of the year. If we were able to use the extra few $1,000s, we could put it towards part-time.
Well, gentlemen, I think the case has been made one way or another. We don't have to make the decision tonight, but there's a number of items as we've gone through this process that, you know, we've raised a red flag on and said maybe we don't want to level fund that particular budget. We may want to do something else. At our next meeting, which is our public hearing, where we kind of talk about the recommendations of the town administrator in terms of balancing the budget, which is, you know, another little task, and getting input from the public. You know, we'll be making some of those hard decisions of what we want to do.
How would you like to be getting in the photo business, passport photo business?
Birth certificates,
Huh?
or birth
Oh,
certificates,
birth
one or the other.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Why not?
it's a
Something
revenue
you could look
source.
into?
We could look into,
You don't go in the
That's
vault,
right.
and
no, it's true, we don't go in the vault.
Source.
I'm not so sure how much time it actually takes for resources.
Just snap, take a picture, fill out a form.
I think it's partly record keeping. I know I've seen some emails about other libraries considering it. I haven't heard yet of any library that's doing it, but I mean, it has come up in other towns because of this same.
I mean, would you consider it?
You might want to blaze a new trail.
We
then.
could look into it. If you'd like me to, I will
We
do
don't have
it.
much time, so,
Oh, you mean it would have to start?
well, I don't know when we'd have to
Take
start.
over
but-
immediately.
but, time is running out, but it's a revenue source and it's
And a service to provide.
a
Certainly
service.
Look
Another
into it.
reason to come to the library.
Right.
That's true.
You go to the library, they do everything there.
I think it's something you should just look at. I
Sure.
think you should look into it.
Look
know,
into it.
my
We'll
idea.
definitely look into it.
Look into it. Might not buy into it, but look into it.
We'll look into it.
Okay.
But again, over the years, I've been supportive of making sure that we meet the mark on this. Again, it's small dollars, and the consequences for not doing it, maybe not in the initial stages, but to make up for it,
Mhm.
it's just gonna come back and bite you later on. So it's,
All right. Any other questions for Helena? Marcy? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks for answering my questions.
Thank you.
Lastly, IT.
IT.
11. Tab 11.
Gene is, Greg, I'm assuming you've had discussions with